While Trump fantasizes about his personal relationships with dictators, China, Russia, and North Korea just formed an unprecedented alliance that completely sidelines American influence. Trump's delusional foreign policy has created the modern axis of evil, and America isn't even invited to the table. Trump continues living in fantasyland, believing his personal charm can control global adversaries. His naive assessment of President Xi reveals dangerous disconnection from geopolitical reality.
Are you concerned of escalation beyond the trade war with China?
No, I'm not concerned. I think President Xi is a very smart guy, and I think we'll end up making a very good deal for both.
His delusions about Putin are equally dangerous, despite overwhelming evidence of Russian aggression.
President Donald Trump says he's the only person in the world who can end the war in Ukraine. In a recent interview, President Trump said there's nobody who can stop Russian President Vladimir Putin except him. Commander-in-Chief added he's had some very rational discussions with Putin to halt the bloodshed. Now, these comments come just hours after his special envoy Steve Witkoff described Putin as a great leader and not, quote-unquote, a bad guy.
Most bizarre is Trump's romanticized view of Kim Jong Un, revealing his complete misunderstanding of authoritarian manipulation.
We have a very good relationship. We were going to war with North Korea. That was what was going to happen. When I did it, and I was really being tough, and so was he, and we were going back and forth, and then we fell in love. He wrote me beautiful letters, and they're great letters. We fell in love.
While Trump fantasizes about falling in love with Kim Jong Un, reality delivers a brutal awakening. The three authoritarian powers just formed an unprecedented alliance that completely excludes and undermines American interests. Kim Jong Un promises to do everything to assist Moscow after Putin meeting. North Korean leader invited to visit Russia. As Zelensky says, Putin is displaying impunity with new Ukraine strikes. Vladimir Putin has invited Kim Jong Un to visit Russia during a lengthy meeting in Beijing on the sidelines of China's biggest military parade, as Kim promised to do everything I can to assist Moscow. And the invitation, made through interpreters and shown in a video published by the Kremlin, came as Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Putin of demonstrating his impunity with fresh strikes on Ukraine overnight. Putin and Kim, the authoritarian leaders of Russia and North Korea, were in the Chinese capital as guests of Xi Jinping for a ceremony marking the 80th anniversary of the end of the Second World War, known in China as the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression. North Korea has supported Russia in its war against Ukraine with weapons and troops. The two leaders appeared alongside Xi at the opening of Wednesday's ceremony, talking as they walked side by side on the red carpet into Tiananmen Square. It is believed to be the first time the three leaders have been in the same place together. In a bilateral meeting that lasted more than 2 hours, Kim was recorded telling Putin, "See you soon," and hugging him goodbye. "We are waiting for you. Come visit us," Putin replied. Russia and North Korea last year signed an agreement that mutually obliged them to provide military and other assistance in the event the other is attacked. Putin thanked North Korea for sending troops to fight against Ukraine, describing them as fighting courageously and heroically in the Kursk region. Putin's visit to Beijing, which followed the Shanghai Cooperation Summit in Tianjin on Sunday, and a bilateral meeting with Xi in Uzbekistan, came as Russia launched a sweeping overnight attack on Ukraine. An estimated 500 drones and 24 missiles were fired at western and central Ukraine, targeting civilian infrastructure, especially energy facilities. Ukraine said at least 4 railway workers were injured. The attack also prompted Poland to scramble defense aircraft. On Wednesday, Zelensky said Putin was showing his impunity, urging tougher sanctions on Moscow. This undoubtedly requires a response from the world, and it is only due to the lack of sufficient pressure, primarily on Russia's war economy, that this aggression continues, Zelensky said, ahead of meetings with officials from Baltic and Nordic countries. In Denmark, Zelensky has accepted Donald Trump's proposals for a ceasefire and face-to-face peace talks with Putin, but the Kremlin has raised objections at the Tianjin summit. Putin said he had reached understandings with Trump at their meeting in Alaska last month, which he said he hoped were moving in this direction, opening the way to peace in Ukraine. Putin is wanted by the International Criminal Court over alleged war crimes in Ukraine, and there are calls by some international law experts for an arrest warrant to be issued against Kim for aiding Russia's war. There's been no announcement of a formal trilateral meeting between Kim, Putin, and Xi in Beijing. While Xi and Putin have declared a limitless partnership, analysts say Beijing is rankled by Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine and North Korea's direct support of it. Xi is striving to balance his alliance with both nations while at the same time avoiding further sanctions from the U.S. and other allies of Ukraine.
This represents the complete collapse of Trump's delusional foreign policy. While he wrote love letters to Kim Jong Un, the North Korean dictator was building military alliances with Putin and Xi that directly threaten American interests and global stability. The economic implications are catastrophic. China already owns massive portions of U.S. debt, Russia controls energy markets, and North Korea provides military support, creating an axis of economic and military power that operates independently of American influence. Kim Jong Un's promise to do everything I can to assist Moscow came immediately after Trump's failed summit attempts, showing exactly how much these dictators respect his diplomatic efforts. They used Trump's naive approach to buy time while building alliances against Western interests. The timing is devastating. 500 drones and 24 missiles launched at Ukrainian civilian infrastructure while Putin hosts Xi and Kim Jong Un in Beijing. This coordination demonstrates sophisticated strategic planning that completely outmaneuvered Trump's personality-based diplomacy. Trump's romantic fantasies about falling in love with Kim Jong Un now look pathetically naive as Kim commits North Korean troops to fight against Ukraine alongside Russian forces. Those beautiful letters were manipulation tactics from a dictator who never respected American power under Trump's leadership. The formation of this China-Russia-North Korea axis represents the greatest strategic failure in modern American foreign policy. While Trump focused on personal relationships and trade deals, these powers built military and economic partnerships that could dominate global affairs for decades. America's allies are scrambling, Poland scrambling aircraft, Baltic nations meeting urgently, while our adversaries coordinate attacks and military support. Trump's approach created the very threats he claimed to solve. This trilateral alliance has limitless potential according to Putin and Xi's declaration, while America operates with a president who thinks foreign policy is about personal charm rather than strategic power projection. Will Trump finally recognize that dictators played him, or will he continue believing in personal relationships while America loses global influence? Share your thoughts below, subscribe for more foreign policy analysis, and hit that notification bell because this new axis of power is reshaping the world order while America watches from the sidelines.